What do you mean by psychological changes? I think it's better if you said just important changes in general, as in one's perception of or experience of oneself. What kundalini does is it? I think of it like a dragon's tail or a dart or a cannon or something that smashes down the walls that separate the various layers of the psyche unconscious mind. When this happens, the mental contents of a person's ego or whatever will rise to the surface layers of a person's mind, and, if the awakening is handled correctly, these old, negative energies will be burned away, hate, resentment, guilt, fear, what have you, and be replaced by an infinite silence of mind and the light of one's conscious awareness, which are much more positive energies, higher frequency vibration or whatever. Old or negative behavioral patterns should and probably will be over time be shed behind and replaced with more positive ones. Basically, the person you think you are will be destroyed. This small, separate, me, that is trapped inside one's head with his day-to-day worries and anxieties etc. will be destroyed, and all that is left is the raw, unconditioned mind. So think after Kundalini awakening is complete you have less ego me, more pure mind. Once that Kundalini energy smashes down those walls, however, you have to give your brain and nervous system time to process and eliminate all the negative energy that will most assuredly rush to the surface of the mind. So please be patient with your brain and yourself and keep meditating and know there's light at the end of the tunnel. When all is said and done, you will have a changed perception of self, but it's better and upgraded compared to the old ego one. I'd say it's learning how to live without one's ego run the show while surrendering to life, God, spirit, etc. The psychological factors that Kundalini challenges the most are any beliefs, attitudes and habits that impede one's surrender to life. Which means, basically, the ego with all its control strategies and defense mechanisms. How this plays out will vary greatly from one individual to another, depending upon what specific ego patterns have developed in their personality. For example, those who have a tendency to be vain, arrogant or narcissistic will find themselves confronting the underlying sense of ordinary human vulnerability that they have spent their lives trying to avoid or deny. Then, once they have come to terms with that, they will be challenged to accept that there is nothing to fear about vulnerability, so long as they surrender to life, or the divine, the universe, the life force. Surrender means trusting that everything is perfect and it always works out for the best, so there is no need to monitor, control and manipulate the course of events. But this leaves the ego with nothing to do, so it will resist. So I guess the key change induced by Kundalini awakening is discovering that losing control of life does not make one a victim of life. Rather, surrendering to life integrates one into the cosmic flow. What a great question. There are several, but I think one of the most significant changes is the freedom from the perception of need, that we need something external, or need life to be different than it is. As Kundalini frees us, we come in contact with a very deep part of ourselves, a place beyond the tensions and distractions of daily life. From that place of surrender we realize we are perfect and complete, like when we were a child playing in the sand. We don't need anything to be happy. Maybe we need some food and sleep. But when you're happy, if you go a night without sleep, or don't eat for a day, it's no problem. We don't even need to breathe. A higher power does that for us 21,000 times a day. This is real freedom, where we see that this idea we have been dealt all our lives that we need to prove ourselves or be successful to be fulfilled is really bullshit. People who actually manage to accumulate wealth or power almost universally realize that it doesn't bring them joy or contentment, usually after they have spent their life pursuing it. Joy is our natural state, which is revealed when the veil of dualistic illusion is burned away by Kundalini. A deep sense of inner peace is probably the most profound change I experienced, but after Kundalini you are conscious in a whole new way and all else really stems from that, I think. A great thing is that all your issues come up to be healed. I was lucky enough to have been given EFT tapping as a tool to help with that. So, now, something comes up, and I see it as an issue to heal rather than another crazy life drama, and I get to work. The ultimate goal is full self-realization. No idea if I will achieve that in this lifetime, but that's kind of irrelevant anyway once you have become more non-attached. There is no pressure for achievement of goals. You just work on cultivating joy and doing your work with gratitude, if that makes sense. It's super nice, kind of counterintuitive to the regular Western way of living, I think, and very freeing.